Welcome to a battlefield of minds. Two grandmasters face off where every move cuts like a sword. One mistake, and it's over. This isn't just chess, it's war disguised as strategy. Let's dive in, move by move, into this epic clash. Wesley So opens with 1. In a stein, cannon for a rate. The 4. The classic spear thrust in the center, establishing control and announcing a strategic battle ahead. Y. Xuan Timothy Chan replies with NF6, flexible, probing the center and preparing for a solid Indian-style defense. Wesley expands with C4. The pawn duo rises like twin fortresses, daring black to challenge the center. Y counters with E6, a calm, professional response, hinting at the queen's gambit, decline structure. Wesley fianchettos with G3, a cool modern choice, planning to unleash the bishop's long-range power. Y strikes back with D5, clashing immediately in the heart of the board, showing no fear of an open fight. Wesley develops NF3, reinforcing the D4 point, his army taking flexible and harmonious positions. Y surprises with DXE4, boldly capturing in the center, grabbing the pawn but opening up lines for future attack. Wesley answers BB4E. Wait, that's Y. He checks with the bishop, forcing white to react and maybe distort development. Wesley calmly blocks with BD2, solid and sensible, ready to recapture and keep the tension alive. Y keeps the fire going with C5, seizing space, transforming the position into a dynamic double-edged battlefield. Wesley trades BX-BX-B4, simplifying on his terms, removing the checking bishop from the equation. Y recaptures with CX-B4. The pawn now acts like a shield and a spear, guarding while cutting through the board. Wesley counters with Nefiv, jumping into action, an aggressive knight aiming right at the heart of black's camp. Y castles, safety first. The king tucks away, ready to weather the storm. Wesley captures NXC4. The knight snatches back the pawn, balancing material and claiming the initiative. Y answers N6. Another piece joins the fray, eyeing the center and the F5 square for future tactics. Wesley builds the wall with E3, cool and methodical, opening the bishop and securing his central chain. Y goes F5, a bold counterstrike, directly testing white's control of the middle ground. Wesley pushes D5. The lines explode. He advances with force, shutting black's center and grabbing space. Y captures B5, tension on the queen's side as the pawns collide in a messy storm of tactics. Wesley responds DX6, striking back, inviting chaos and opening files for both players' ambitions. Y trades queens with QS', a cold-blooded exchange, trying to drag the game into an endgame where accuracy rules. Wesley recaptures KX'. King steps up early, a warrior general taking the field personally in the coming endgame. Y pushes BXC4, solidifying the queenside pawns, setting up a long-term structural duel. Wesley plays A3, probing the base of black's pawn chain, a clear sign of positional awareness. Y responds with B3, an ambitious advance, turning the pawn into a dangerous spearhead deep in enemy lines. Wesley develops ND2. The knight shifts for a better post, eyeing B3 and C4 like a predator stalking its prey. Y calmly places B6, development with purpose, guarding the pawn, and linking the rooks. Wesley plays Racone. Smooth coordination, targeting the c4 pawn, and hinting at deep tactics ahead. Vi brings Racite, the rooks now connected, ready for a duel across the open files. Wesley captures NCC4, slicing the pawn chain, showing he won't tolerate any invaders in his territory. Vi pushes e4, aggressive and thematic, seizing central space and forcing white to make choices. Wesley retreats nd2, calm defense, eyeing control and waiting for the right moment to counter. Vi develops bd5, an active post for the bishop, anchoring the structure and eyeing kingside invasion paths. Wesley counters with 7, a shocker. That pawn rockets forward, instantly creating chaos and queening threats. Vi coolly responds rf8, bringing the rook to life, setting up defense and maybe counterplay on the e-file. Wesley finds bh3, a slick move connecting his pieces and hinting at sneaky tactical nets. Vi returns fire with b6, covering key diagonals, preventing any infiltration. Wesley trades bx in x, keeping the tension manageable, simplifying into a favorable structure. Vi recaptures x6. His rook takes over central control, flexing across the 6th rank. Wesley centralizes ket2. The king marches towards safety and coordination, fully trusting his endgame skills. Vi doubles down with r7, solidifying defense and creating latent threats on the open files. Wesley activates r2. Both rooks are finally connected and roaring, ready to seize the initiative. Vi replies rx7, grabbing the c7 pawn, equalizing the material, but perhaps loosening control. Wesley captures rxe7, sharp and immediate, keeping the tempo in his favor. Vi regroups with rxe7, simple recapture, but the balance of activity is starting to tilt. Wesley strikes nc4. The knight bites into the center, dismantling black's pawn chain with confidence. Vi brings Keone. No, that's Wesley's move next. Correction. Vi answers with k-fight, stepping closer to the kingside fight. Wesley now continues nc6, another hit! White's knight tears, open black's kingside structure. Vi accepts with gxf6. The pawn structure collapses but the rook pair remains vigilant. Wesley brings d2. The rook prepares for infiltration, hunting for weaknesses like a hawk. Vi plays Arconeo, a sudden check forcing white's king to keep moving. Wesley calmly replies, ket2. Unshaken, his monarch marches with poise through open lines. Vi advances kg7, centralizing the king for the endgame battle to come. Wesley plays e4, breaking open more lines. The initiative burns bright for white. Vi brings kg6, advancing fearlessly. The black king steps into the storm. Wesley follows with k3, harmonious maneuvering, linking all his forces in perfect rhythm. Vi pushes safe, counterplay. Black finally tries to distract on the queenside. Wesley calmly plays h4, a quiet but venomous move, ready to open another front. Vi answers h6, preventing g5, but fixing his own pawns as potential targets. Wesley doubles back with rd5, slicing the board in half, keeping total control of the center. White pushes a4, desperate for counterplay, trying to create a passed pawn. Wesley stops him with r4. Blockade complete. Not a single pawn will cross that line. White brings rct2, shifting the rook, looking for counterattack chances. Wesley takes rx4, ripping open the queen side, clearing the path for his advancing army. White replies rxbd2, trading blows, refusing to give up without a fight. Wesley stabilizes rb4, covering his weak spots and preparing to push his kingside majority. White fights back with r-bone, active defense, hoping to generate counter-threats. Wesley plays kd4. The white king transforms into an attacking piece, leading the charge. White captures r5, grabbing the f-pawn and trying to activate his rook. Wesley retaliates rxb3. The exchange continues, tension at maximum. White strikes rxf2, still taking pawns, but the clock is ticking on his position. Wesley slides kc5, aiming straight toward the queenside promotion path. White defends with re2, trying to hold the line against White's growing threats. Wesley pushes a4. The pawn races ahead, a new queen in the making. White answers rxc4, desperately removing pawns, hoping for counter chances. Wesley advances f5. Unstoppable momentum now. The crowd can feel the breakthrough coming. White checks with re5, tactical resistance, forcing accuracy from White. Wesley sidesteps kb6, calm and composed, walking straight toward victory. White checks again re6, probing for perpetuals, but White's coordination is flawless. Wesley replies kb7. The king marches further, still perfectly safe. White checks once more re7, relentless but futile resistance from Black's lone rook. Wesley climbs k8, royal ascent to the top corner, unstoppable. White answers re8, trying the last tactical trick in his arsenal. Wesley blocks re8, precise and deadly, ready to convert. White checks v6, still hunting for some miracle defense. Wesley counters k7, total domination, the a-pawn, now a monster. White continues re7, but the checks no longer matter, the end is near. Wesley calmly plays rb7, supporting the a-pawn, preparing the final thrust. White defends re3, clutching to the board with everything he has. Wesley captures rb5, gaining space, slicing through the defense like a blade. White finally grabs 5. His rook at least gets a pawn, but the position collapses. Wesley advances a6. The pawn keeps storming, a future queen in sight. White answers rxg3. Desperate counterplay, but too little too late. Wesley continues kb7, leading his pawn army home. White checks re, trying to stop the march with lateral defense. Wesley ignores it, plays a7, the pawn one step from immortality. White captures x7. He snatches the pawn, a temporary sigh of relief. Wesley calmly kx7, recaptures without fear, total control regained. White pushes f4, last-ditch effort, pushing his passed pawn with hope. Wesley plays kb6, methodical and precise, closing in for the kill. White continues 5. The pawn runs, but too slow. Wesley replies Kisiviv, cutting off the black pawns. The king herds them like sheep. My brings Kafiv. The king joins the race, but it's a doomed sprint. Wesley shifts KD4, perfect coordination, tightening the noose. Y answers KJ4. Both kings locked in a final chase, but Wesley's army is faster. Wesley proceeds KD3. Inching closer, no escape for black now. Y plays H5. His final pawn push, a desperate sign of defiance. Wesley calmly KD2. The last move of a master, sealing every square. Y has nothing left. His piece is frozen, his pawns exhausted. Wesley stands victorious, a masterpiece of precision and patience. The scoreboard reads 1-0. Wesley So triumphs again, a cold executioner in the endgame arena. The video ends here. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. Please don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to the channel to support me. Thank you again, everyone. See you in the next video.